Danny might have a new man in season 7, but for how long? Because I'm not necessarily sure that they are going to make it. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. And in this video, we are going to detail the relationship between Danny and Tony and if they are actually going to stand the test of time. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my sisters' content and conversation. And without further ado, baby, let's go ahead and get into it, because Daniella, you can jump from one man to the next. You can have a good old time. However, one thing that you cannot outrun is your own demons. And you definitely can't outrun somebody else's, which is sparking up some issues with you. In season 7, we meet Tony's ex-wife and the mother of his children, who is apparently not finished with him yet. They might be divorced, but Miss Mamas wants him back. So that is already a potential issue within their relationship if she's going to continue to pursue him even though they're no longer together. Next thing, he got 2 kids. Daniella, do you want to be a mama? Daniella, do you want to be a mama? I don't know. But here are some of the things that I was thinking when it comes to Danny in this relationship, aside from the clear and present danger that is his ex-wife and, you know, blending families together, right? Let's talk about Danny and if she's still emotionally affected by Preston in the breakup in his marriage, because I believe she is. I believe whether Danny wants to admit it or not, Preston got to her in a place and in a way that most men do not. I don't know how, because most of their relationship was just her cracking on him and them having good sex. But for whatever reason, he got to a certain place. And then he also became her knight in shining armor for a moment and fighting off Jonah when he came to assault her for a second time. I think in Preston proposing to her, or like wanting to propose to her, but then turning into a toxic thing and creating trauma around it with giving her the ultimatum, and then ultimately taking that same ring and putting it on a white woman's face and then parading that said white woman in front of her and then sending her a photo of it, again, is more compounding trauma in which Daniella has yet to actually grieve, process, deal with, and move through. So I do believe that she is still emotionally affected by Preston and the breakup. Even though we won't see Trinity Whiteside in season 7, I think his character has exited the series for good. We are still going to see the remnants of his presence, of their relationship, have an impact on Danny, as it typically does. Like, it takes people a while to get over exes. I mean, look at Karen. And that's no shade to my good sis, but it takes a while. Now, speaking to her trauma, I think that she, again, has ignored and not revisited any of her trauma from multiple interactions in her life, but specifically the Jonah interaction. Her jumping into a committed relationship with Preston was a knee-jerk reaction to the assault that Jonah placed on her. It was literally a trauma response to the trauma that Jonah inflicted. And Daniella, from what we have seen, has yet to deal with it. And there are no signs pointing to, in the 3 months that is in between season 6 and then in season 7 starting, that she actually unpacks it or deals with it prior to really getting invested and involved with Tony. So I think that that's going to be a thing. Her not checking her trauma around sex, her trauma around romance, her trauma within her friendships, her trauma and seemingly lack of self-worth that becomes ever present in so many of her life decisions is ultimately a thing that is going to continue to present problems and create conflict as she tries to move forward in her life, but also specifically within her romances. Now, initially, Danny couldn't find her footing with Preston, and I think that was also tied to how she looked at herself on the inside. Internally, I don't believe that she thinks that she's worthy. Simply. So how can a relationship make it? How can you move forward with a new guy and it actually becomes something promising and healthy if you really deep down don't believe that you are capable of staying in and maintaining a healthy relationship and or deserving of such? I'll wait, y'all. You could go ahead and answer in the comment section. How do you maintain something that you really don't believe that you deserve or are worthy of? The blaring answer to me is that you can't and you don't. On top of that, because I think she has certain feelings around lack of self-worth and self-esteem, she makes so many things a joke when she really needs to be sitting with her feelings and her thoughts around stuff so that she can process and heal through it. Now, in her previous relationships in history, she was also the one to chase men. And to me, that just makes an argument in support of her lack of self-worth. But part of the reason why I feel like she even landed in this relationship with Tony is because he switched the positions and he pursued her in this way. I think that this is ultimately what she really enjoyed about Preston as well. But because Preston was presenting white and because Preston didn't listen to the same music and didn't look like her, it created other rifts that she couldn't actually connect to. But this tall, fine black man is chasing me, the one who never gets the man, the one who never gets chosen, the one who never gets picked, the one whose friend think I'm fat, the one who like all of the things. I could only imagine what's happening in the psyche of this girl. And again, how do you build a healthy relationship that's actually going to make it and last off of that mindset? Answer again is you don't. Another point I want to make is that Danny seems so unhappy. Like, she's unhappy with her job. She's unhappy with her financial status. Before Tony, she was unhappy with her romantic status. And she voiced issues with the, positioning of herself within her friend group. And we never really get to see her address that unhappiness and proactively go after a life that's better. So new people coming into her life, whether romantic or otherwise, won't make her happy either if she never figures out for herself what will make her happy and what will make her feel whole. And another thing, because this is a whole bullet point list that I made. Like, I just sat and just thought about Daniella for a minute, and all of these thoughts came up, and I'm just sharing them with y'all. You can share with me your thoughts about Daniella in the comment section down below. But she also seemingly just cannot be alone. She chooses to jump from one partner to the next, and then she advises her friend to do the same, because I don't think that she sees the value in taking time to reflect and to heal. And because she doesn't fully love herself, she doesn't see the value in being with herself. She doesn't see herself as a worthy, valuable, important, impactful presence on her own soul, which I know sounds a little bit woo-woo and meta, but it's real. And people who can't be alone also tend to not necessarily thrive in relationships because they put too much pressure, too much focus, too much emphasis on the other person being their end all and be all, and they have nothing to bring to the relationship of themselves because they don't actually see much in themselves. And going back to my point in the beginning, in the intro, can y'all make it if Danny don't want kids, but she now has to play stepmama? She now has to deal with your baby mama? I don't know. Daniella doesn't give me the girl that's going to play nicely with the baby mama. She don't give me Fatima and Karen who, figure out diplomatic ways. I mean, Fatima definitely lays hands and whatnot, but at the end of the day, she's still going through it. She hasn't dropped Zach yet. Danny gives me the girl that's going to drop you before she goes back and forth with a baby mama and or your kids. It's not clear if his kids are going to be the ones that don't like the new lady or do like the new lady. However, part of me feels like they're not going to make it simply because she don't like all that comes with it. And it's so interesting because in the trailer for season 7, we got a moment where Tony is at the desk, the higher airline's desk while she's working. He comes up to her. He's like, you knew what you signed up for when you got with me. Excuse me, sir? Who the hell are you talking to? Take that bass out your voice. And that don't mean that I actually wanted to go through the ups and downs and the bullshit that come with this raggedy ass situation. Yeah, y'all, from the Danny side, it's not looking good. But let's go ahead and talk about Mr. Tony. Tony has been stalking Danny at work. He listens to her conversations while she's at work and taking breaks in her car and wants her and everyone else to believe that this is healthy, normal, and maybe even romantic. But it's not. So you already starting off wrong. The foundation is rotten to the damn core, okay? When we see them go on their first 2 triple dates, he spends most of his time saying how great of a guy he is and his friends are. But sir, we need to see it, and you need to stop saying it because you keep talking and you're not actually showing. I don't know how much I actually believe that a great guy would be going after another man's woman, knowing that she's another man's. Which brings me to his pursuit of Danny while she was still in a relationship was weird and disrespectful. Point blank period. So many of y'all can point out that, oh, Karen was wrong because she sees that Zach is with Fatima now and it don't matter that history, don't matter her feelings. Tony has no history with Danny and has clear understanding of her circumstances, her feelings about this man and everything, and still pursued. Y'all need to be speaking about just how disrespectful that is, because y'all had no problems pointing out how disrespectful you felt like Karen was. And to me, it's a big orange flag at best, because it's definitely a red one, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's an orange just to try to, you know, compromise with y'all. And it's an orange flag for how he views monogamy and cheating, because even if you feel like you are a better fit for Danny than Preston, your values show that you don't care about monogamy. And if you do, you only care about if someone is monogamous to you, which means you really just don't care about monogamy. You might cheat in the future. Going back to the point that he has 2 kids in a complicated situation with an ex-wife that wants him back. These are all giving signs that I don't know if they're going to be able to make it, y'all. And personally, I feel like he might be more attracted to the chase than in taking Danny from Preston than actually being with Danny. So it's going to have to be episodes in season 7 that I really get to see them date and see what it is that he likes about Danny, because right now it feels like he's more intrigued by the chase, he's more intrigued by the challenge than he is by the woman that Danny presents herself to be. So if you haven't surmised by now, I don't think that they actually gonna make it. But it's not necessarily clear on what's going to be the thing that breaks their relationship, which is where y'all come in. Tell me, do you think they're going to make it or will they not? If they don't make it, what do you think is going to be the thing that plays the major role? I cannot wait to hear your thoughts and keep this conversation going in the comment section. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, because I post new videos like this every single day. There's quite a few for you to go ahead and check out and get into, because we're having all of the Sistas conversations right here on Erica Vane TV. YouTube thinks that you would love to watch this video next, so go ahead and check it out, and I'm gonna see you over there.